Okay, so we will discuss today about the Wireshark and its usage from the OSA perspective. Like we said, when we do some transaction from any device to any device, it must contain, we'll talk about from the layer 2, the data which you transfer must contain MAC address. So let's say source MAC, you have a switch connected to a computer transferring data. So the system must have MAC address. Let's say MAC address is the combination of the hexadigit, which means from 0 to 9 and A to F. And the MAC address, it belongs to 48-bit binary or 12 hexadigits. Let's say, for example, I'm going to write a MAC address, something mixed with 111, 111, 111, A. So this one, and then here I'm going to say 111 dot 111 dot 111 B. So here, when I mention 1111 41, then dot. So this one is representing 4 bits, 4 binary. So this one means, example, as we said on the last session, 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, and 2 raised to 3. So this one means it is 0, 0, 0, 1. Because the backwards numbers are 0, 0, 0. So when you're writing any hexadigit number, one hexa is the combination of 4 bits or one nibble. Let's say here the 1, 1, 1, 1, which means 1, 1, 1, let's say 1, 1, 1, 1. This is 4 hexa. The one hexa, this is 1 hexa. 1 hexadigit means 4 binary, 2, 3, 4, which means 0, 0, 0, 1. How come this is 0, 0, 0, 1? Because this is just a 1 digit, which means 2 raised to 0 is equal to 1. So the first bit. And the remaining called the 0, 0, 0, which is shortly mentioned as 1. So here, this one means 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is 0, 0, 0, 1. So when you mention 4 hexadigit value, which means you have 16 binary values. 1 hexa is equivalent to 4 binary. So 4 hexa means you have 16 bits. And your MAC address I mentioned here, 4 hexa, again 4, again 4. So 4 into 3 times is a 12 hexa. Okay, 1 hexadigit means 4 bits. So we have 12 hexa, and each 1 hexa is equivalent to 4 bits, is equivalent to 48. So the hexadecimal value or the MAC address are 48 bits or 12 hexadigits. So which means it could be any combination in between 0 to 9 and A to F. If I'm writing one MAC address, for example, A, B, C, D, 4 hexa dot 111A dot 111B. This is one MAC address. One MAC address is equivalent to 48 bits binary. So this 48 bits binary, we made up with 12 hexa-digit value, which means, so let's say here you have 1 hexa. The 1 hexa, which is A, is a combination of 4 binary. So second hexa, which is again the combination of 4 hexa, 4 binary. So when you have 4 hexa, which means 4 into 4 is 16. And here the 4 hexa, which is a 16 bits binary. This 4 hexa, which is 16 bits binary. 1 hexa is equivalent to 4 bits. So when you have a 4 hexa is equivalent to 4 into 4 times, which is 16. The total 16 into 3 times called 48 bits. That is the combination of your MAC address. So now let's say, what could be the binary value of A, B, C, D? So the A means, for example, we said that 0 to 9, then 0 until 9, then A, then until F. So after 9, when we say A, which is equivalent to 10, after 9, then the 10. So the A means 10. The 10 means, let's say, 4 hexa values, or 4, it could be either 0 or 1, 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3. When I say 2 raised to 3, which means 8, 2 raised to 2, 4, 2 raised to 1, 2, 2 raised to 0, 1. Then we said about 10. 10 means 8 and 2, 8 plus 2. So the remaining must be 0. So this is the binary value of A. Hope you understood. Now we're going to talk about B. So the B is hexa value. We need to know what is the decimal value of B. So you can say after A, then B, which means the 9, then 10 means A, then B means it must be 11. So now you got the decimal value of B is equivalent to 11. Now you need to know what could be the binary value of your 11. So the 11 means 8 plus 2, 10 plus 1, 0. This is called B. Now talk about C. What could be the C? So the B means 11. So then the C means must be 12. How come C would be 12? So here you can see that, let's say 0 to 9. Then A, B, C, D, E, F, which means after 9, 10, 11, 12, D means 13, E means 14, F means 15. So we are talking about C, which means 12. So when you say 12, which is decimal, you need to know about the binary. To get a decimal 12, you need to turn on 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Then 0, 0. So 1, 1, 0, 0 is the outcome of your C. The way we will be addressing what could be the binary value when you have a decimal or when you have an hexa. So here, so now we came to know how we will be converting the hexa value to the binary via decimal, and the MAC address, it belongs to 48-bit or 12 hexadigit. Now you have a two system, PC1 connected to PC2 via switch. The system must have MAC and the IP. Okay, this is PC1, this is PC2. And you can say this is from computer and this is to computer. The from in technically we call as a source and the to we technically called as a destination. If you are sending your traffic from this system to this system, if it is vice versa or opposite, your PC2 must be a source and PC1 must be a destination. Now, when you send something from your system to between systems, as an example, you need to have layer 2, which is MAC address. Must be source MAC and your destination MAC. Then from layer 2, you will come to know what protocol that you are using in layer 3, whether it is IP or IPX, even in IP, whether it is version 4 or version 6, etc. Then you come to know about layer 3, which is IP address. In layer 3, you need to know your source IP and your destination IP. Also, you will come to know what is the layer 4 protocol within the layer 3, which means, are you using TCP or UDP? Layer 3 irundhu tha ungalku theriya mudiyum adu layer 4 IP illa layer 3 IP. Sorry, layer 4, which layer 4 protocol, like IP address or TCP or UDP, it depends on what protocol that you are using in layer 4.
Okay.
When you go for layer 4, the next layer, this all information that you will get when you send a data. In the layer 4, you will come to know what protocol, sorry, what port number that you are using, port number. Like we said, HTTP, FTP, DNS, Telnet, SSH. There are many application layer protocol which will be binded into a layer 4 TCP or UDP. So the source port and destination port. In order to know this, we have a tool called Ethereal or Wireshark. The Wireshark is the latest one. So we're gonna try from our system itself to test to internet. So let's say I'm gonna use Wireshark. So the Wireshark, you need to install, just double click. It has a two version, like a 64-bit and 32-bit, depends upon which OS that you have, you need to install respectively. Once you installed, you need to search the Wireshark and just double click the Wireshark. We are just turned on the Wireshark. After you turned on Wireshark, we need to go to see the, let's say, capture. You can see the window called capture. From the capture, you can select interface. You can see many available interface within that system. I have two interfaces. One is called the Ethernet interface of the system. If you have a Wi-Fi, you can also see the Wi-Fi interface. Also, you can see the transaction, that the packet movable, like move packet send and receive. So I'm going to select the first one, Broadcom. Then you can click start. When you click start, you can see many packets that is moving through that specific interface. So example, you can filter on the filter tab. Like for example, I'm going to give a TCP. Then enter. you can filter only TCP based traffic. Then you can see on the top there is a source and the destination. So let's say my computer IP is 1.192.1.104. So you can filter any packet. For example, I'm selecting from source from my computer 1.104. Then you just double click it. When you double click, you will get another page, which is this page. You can see on the top. Let me minimize this a bit. You can see here, and it is. Let me see if I can maximize the font size. Font bold 17. 18. Okay. Okay. More. Maybe you can see the bigger screen now. Let me select 190 to 168. Let me filter TCP. Then let's say 190 to, there are a lot of packets. 190 to 168. 1 dot. Yeah. So we can select this packet. Then again, I'm sharing that specific window. You can see here a bigger screen. Okay, so here I'm gonna start from the frame. The frame is the outcome name of layer 2. Every layer, it has its own name after adding protocol into received data. What does that mean? Our intimate goal to transfer a data. Even as a user will never think about what's happening on the background. They just need to send the data. And if they are facing delay on their own communication, they will report it to the respective admin. As an admin, we need to go and to see what could be the reason for delaying the data. Then we need to understand many things, and this is one of that. So when you're adding, when protocols, respective layer protocols adding into a received data, it will be having its own new name. Let's in application presentation session layer, when adding its own layer protocol, example HTTP, FTP, DNS, etc. When adding the respective protocols from their layer into a data, they will be call it as a new name. In application presentation session, it's called as data. When it moves to transport layer, after adding TCP or UDP, it name it as segment. Then that segment will come to network layer. After adding IP or any respective protocols from network layer, it will be renamed into packet. And the packet moves to data link layer, then will be add MAC address into it. After that, it will be called as frame. So now we are in frame. Then you can see a source MAC, which is Ethernet. Ethernet is the layer 2 technology for transferring data. So here you can see that the source MAC and the destination MAC. The source MAC is the MAC of the sender, and the destination MAC is the MAC of receiver. Also, you can see an additional field called type. The type is nothing but to inform in layer 2 that what protocol that's going to be used in layer 3 on upper layer. In order to know which protocol used in layer 3, we have to enter to layer 3, which is called packet, or we need to open packet. Instead, we can see those info from layer 2 itself. Then by looking into the Ethernet header, we came to know that in layer 3 that they're going to use IP. Then you came to layer 3, which is called Internet Protocol. Also, the outcome name called the packet. Then when you open, when you click Internet Protocol, you can see many additional info in the IP. Those additional info together called header. So every protocol having its own many information within it. To know about it, you need to open it. So when you open, you can see many content in that. So those content together we called as header. So we open IP. So let's say I'm going to minimize the IP. I just click the Internet Protocol to see what content, what info within it. So this entire info starting from version 4 until a protocol or header, until the destination, the whole info we will call as IP header. So when you open IP header, there are many fields we will talk about, very important, which we required, and later we can add the remaining two. So one info that you need to know, version. In IP, there are two, version 4 and version 6. By looking into this, you come to know it's a version 4. Then there are some extra fields, which is called differentiated services. This is all about QoS. You may have heard about QoS, quality of service. In shortly, what does it mean by QoS? Let's say you are sending voice and data. So you're sending some data to me, and you're calling to inform that, please check your email, I sent you something. When you do both together, the network need to understand the traffic coming from you, which includes data as well as voice. So the network, which one should forward first, whether it's data or voice. So there are some criteria. It's been defined already. If a device, network device received data, voice, both together, they will take a priority for voice, then the data. Or even if within a data, we have HTTP, we have FTP, we have SMTP, and we have many more. If a network device receiving multiple packets from different source, or within the same source with the multiple different services, like you are sending to me in the form of data, you are sending email, you are sending file, or you are sending some personal chat, you are doing multiple tasks at the same time towards to me. So in between you and me, there is a network device who is carrying our traffic. So when your traffic reach to the network need to understand all our data. Let's say you are sending to me chat, you are sending to me email, you are sending to me file, you are sending to me Word, everything. So according to network equipment, it's all our data. But within the data, maybe your email must received first, then your attachment or your something chat, etc. So we have a choice to prioritize by ourselves. Then we will talk more about a keyword. Then we'll go to the protocol field, which is called TCP, which means by looking into layer 3, there you can directly understand that what protocol that we're going to use in the layer 4 from the layer 3 itself, which is called TCP. And coming back to the hot topic, that it will tell you that what's your source IP, what's your destination IP. So when you send something from your system to anywhere else, you need to know what is your source MAC and what's your destination MAC. And you need to know what's your source IP and what's your destination IP. Here, the destination IP is 4.121, something in the internet. Then from the fast port layer, you need to know what's your source port and what's your destination port. Destination port, here it's mentioned 443, which is HTTPS, secured HTTP. Then your layer 7A information. So by going through all this, what you need to understand, whenever you send something from any source to any destination, there is a format, a minimum info that it required, along with the data, your source IP, your destination IP, your source MAC, your destination MAC, then your source port, then the destination port, including your data. This is the minimum content that's required to transfer or any successful communication between any point to any point. So I believe I also shared this Wireshark software along with the remaining software. So you need just to install and open in your system and to filter your any traffic to understand the flow of your communication. Any doubt?
No. I'll just see. I will just check and by myself.
Yeah, of
these
course.
things.
Yeah.
Then
True.
only I will understand.
Also, you can do one thing. You can do ping, P-I-N-G. Ping is the ICMP protocol, layer 3. So let me do a ping from my system. So for example, let me show the screen again. You can see that my system example, IP console. You can see my system IP 192.168.1.104. I'm going to ping to the gateway 1.1. So let's say ping 192.168.1.1. I'll do continue ping, which means -p. Okay. Then I'll filter the ping traffic, which is called ICMP, layer 3, Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP. Now you can see many traffic is going from 190 to 168. So let's say my source IP. We can see 190 to 168.1.104. It's going towards to 190 to 168.1.1. It has a request and it has a reply. Request sending from source to destination, reply coming back from the destination towards to the source, reply packet. So let me here on the bottom that you can see the layer 2, which again source MAC and the destination MAC, and the layer 3, which is source IP and the destination IP. Here you can see in a simple way, your source IP is 104 and the destination IP is 1.1. Then you will also have ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, because you're doing ping, which is echo. Now, if you look into this, you cannot see TCP here. TCP is a layer 4 protocol, and you cannot see here. Why you cannot see here? Any suggestion? Any guess? When I filter the traffic of ICMP, we can see until ICMP, but you cannot see TCP or UDP. Why you cannot see? Any guess?
Because
Reason why? Yeah, go ahead.
It's in the same network. Both are.
Yeah, the why you cannot see
same MAC address?
TCP or UDP here. No, I'll let you know. Why you cannot see? Because TCP or UDP is a layer 4 protocol. And the ICMP is a layer 3. And you're performing ICMP services like a ping. So you are receiving your final input, which is ICMP traffic within layer 3, because ICMP is a layer 3. which means you do not need to travel towards to layer 4. Why you do not want to travel? Because your result is available in layer 3 itself, which is from ICMP. Instead, if you do ping or if you do some services like HTTP, which is the layer 7, then you need to go to layer 4. So it's come from layer 2, then it goes to layer 3. If your input is not belongs to layer 3, maybe it's from layer 4 or upper layer 7, then you need to travel until until layer 7 as an example. If your information available in layer 3 itself, which means you don't need to go to layer 4. Hope you understood. புரிஞ்சுதா மச்சான்?
Oh, okay. Because we got the output already.
You got the output already from ICMP, which is the layer 3. Then there is no point to go for layer 4, which means TCP. Correct. Your answer is correct. Yeah. Okay. If you do any upper layer application layer services like a DNS, DHCP, FTP, SMTP, there are many in layer 7. Then you need to go for layer 4. Any doubt?
Can you show one layer for like?
Yes. For example, I'm on HTTP. See, HTTP means you can see this I'm showing HTTP, which is layer 7. You can see layer 2. Can you see layer 2? Ethernet. Then you can see layer 3, which is IP. Then you can see HTTP, which is transmission control protocol. Source port is 80, which is HTTP. Then you can see HTTP. Have you seen this? Layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, then layer 7. புரிஞ்சுதா மச்சான்?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, understood.
Because we filtered HTTP, so it crossed layer 4. Let's see, we have something, let's say DNS. See, we have many DNS traffic. See, DNS is a UDP. You can see layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 UDP, then layer 7 DNS. Which means if you have anything above layer 4, you need to travel layer 4 as well. Okay, wow.
Okay.
So hope you understood this session. Thank you for being with us from CML Infosys. Have a good time.